shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
The 80s are back, and it's pretty consistent as well. We'll show you what's behind the long-term warm-up and when we see a cold front passing through coming up.
And phones in class. Lawmakers are taking a closer look at cell phone use in schools, what it could mean for students. Plus, let's play ball. Opening day is here in Durham with new food, merch, and a full week of themed fun. What you need to know before you head to the park. A very exciting day in the Bull City. We thank you for joining us here on your Tuesday morning. I'm Laura Levine and for Renee Chu. So let's get right over to meteorologist Chris Michaels. And Chris, it's going to be a fabulous day to get outdoors and watch some baseball.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward. I'm going to be heading to the game. I'm going to be running low on sleep tomorrow, but worth it, especially for the weather we're going to have at the game. Really nice. A live look outside at Andrew right now. Fayetteville's at 58, Roanoke Rapids 52, Raleigh and Durham at about 60 degrees. Nice morning to get a little exercise in as temperatures over the course of the next few hours will be in the mid-to-upper 50s. And then as we head into the afternoon, continued warming. Yesterday we were in the 70s, a bit breezy today out of the southwest, and that'll be enough to push our high temperatures into the lower 80s. I know a lot of us on spring break out here, and we've got plenty of days to get outside with the kids. Friday, an isolated storm chance. I'll show you why chances are low for now and when we see the next cold front pushing through North Carolina coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Breaking news this morning, a tractor trailer caught fire, shutting down lanes on Highway 540. This is happening westbound near Benson Road in Wake County. DOT is reporting that 3 out of the 4 lanes there are now open, but crews are still on scene. We're trying to figure out what caused this fire and if there are any injuries. This morning, a Goldsboro fugitive is in custody after months on the run. Goldsboro police say 34-year-old Dacardi Harris was charged with possession of a firearm by a felon in January of last year. He was then released on bond. Then in June of 2025, a federal indictment was issued against Harris, but officials couldn't find him until yesterday morning. Goldsboro police say after a brief standoff, Harris was taken into custody in Rayford. They say they found these weapons, and Harris is now facing a total of 7 counts of possession of a firearm by a felon and 2 counts of possession of weapons of mass destruction. Right now, police are searching for a gunman who shot 3 people on a porch in Clinton. All 3 were rushed to the hospital and are expected to survive. The shooting happened yesterday afternoon at the Eastover Terrace Apartments. Neighbors tell us they heard 5 gunshots. One neighbor we spoke to shared what he saw next when he stepped outside his home.
Seen the 2 guys laying on the ground, and everyone come out the house, some crying, and we had to wait until the ambulance and rescue squads got here.
The shooting happened almost directly in front of the complex's security cameras. We're still working to learn if those cameras captured any video of the suspect. Clinton police say they are still working to determine a motive. Lawmakers will learn more about cell phone use in schools this morning. WRAL's Ali Calabar joins us live now from the Legislative Building. And Ali, lawmakers will hear from researchers on this topic.
Yeah, we're going to see lawmakers gather with top education leaders. They're going to be talking about an update on cell phone use in the classrooms. Now, they're set to get an update on how often students use their phones in schools. This comes less than a year after a law went into effect to restrict cell phones in North Carolina schools. A researcher will present their study on student cell phone use to Education Oversight Committee around 10 this morning. WRAL will be following the outcomes, and in the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about how lawmakers, they are expected to also get a report on changes to math standards. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
NC State will announce a new men's basketball coach in less than 48 hours, and sources say former player Justin Gainey is coming back to lead the pack. NC State's Board of Trustees announced an emergency meeting for today to approve the new hire. That meeting is slated for 3 p.m. Not only did Gainey play for the Wolfpack from 1996 to 2000, but he's North Carolina born and bred. Gainey grew up in High Point and played high school basketball in Greensboro. He's also previously coached at App State and Elon. Students we spoke with say that they're excited, but also apprehensive about Gainey stepping in to lead the pack.
He's unproven, but I'd rather have someone that cares about NC State, that wants to be in Raleigh, and isn't cheating on us with someone else.
And wants to be in Raleigh. Well, the NC State Athletics Department is planning to introduce its next men's basketball coach tomorrow afternoon, pending the Board of Trustees approval. You can follow all of these coaching developments from UNC to NC State and an in-depth analysis in between. That's all on our WRAL YouTube page. People are now pushing for the North Carolina Utilities Commission to vote no to proposed rate hikes from Duke Energy. Duke Energy customers packed a meeting last night to express their concerns over rising energy costs. Duke is proposing an 18% increase over the next 2 years. That could mean customers pay about $34 more a month by 2028. Many customers say that the bills are already too high. Duke says it needs hundreds of millions of dollars more to pay for grid upgrades and power plant maintenance.
We do recognize, though, that any increase is a challenge for some customers, so we take that very seriously. But we also have to meet the energy needs of our state. We added 150,000 new customers in the last 2 years. We had to add 50,000 poles, 4,000 miles of wire. Our costs have gone up as well.
So this was just one of several opportunities customers will have to give feedback on the proposed rate increase. There's also a virtual session happening at 6:30 tomorrow. You can find more information about that on our website at WRAL.com. Starting tomorrow, people who live in Rocky Mount will be paying more for their utilities. The Rocky Mount City Council passed a motion to raise electric, gas, sewer, and water rates by about 15%. It's part of the city's plan to dig the city out of a financial crisis. In an interview with WRAL, the city manager said the increase may not be forever, but it is an important step while the city works to recover. Developing now overnight in the Middle East in the war on Iran, authorities in Dubai say that they've contained a Kuwaiti oil tanker after it came under fire from Iran. All 24 crew members were reported safe. This comes after U.S. Central Command shared this video showing its latest military strikes on Iran. Meanwhile, President Trump has warned of more potential attacks on Iran's energy and infrastructure if a ceasefire is not reached soon. The president also told the New York Post that the U.S. is negotiating with Iran's parliamentary speaker, who has denied any direct talks. Of course, we're keeping our eye on the war's effect on gas prices here in the Triangle right now. And take a look at this. The national average has now broken the $4 mark, sitting at $4.02. In Raleigh this morning, you'll pay an average of $3.89. And in Durham, you'll pay the most at $3.92 a gallon. In Goldsboro, you'll pay the least at $3.81. You can find the cheapest gas prices in the area or wherever you go with the WRAL fuel tracker. Just go to our website, WRAL.com, and search fuel. Opening day is here for the Durham Bulls, and WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at the DBAP this morning with what fans can expect tonight. Good morning, Kelsey.
Hey, Laura, good morning. New food, new merch, and new activities here at the DBAP to kick off baseball season with the Bulls. So hundreds of people will be here tonight for opening day. And if you're headed to the park tonight, we have a traffic alert to tell you about. So fans should take the Duke Street exit if they're traveling north on the Durham Freeway. For South Deck parking, take the first right on Yancey Street and then right on Willard Street. For North Deck parking, take the second right on Jackson Street. So the Bulls are going head-to-head against the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. The series starts tonight with an action-packed week ahead.
We'll celebrate on Thursday with Bark in the Park and Dollar Hot Dog Night. Then on Friday, we'll have our first Copa night. And then on Saturday, it's Bull Durham night. And then Sunday, we're having some Easter fun. There's a pregame Easter egg hunt on the field.
So that should be super fun for the kiddos. And as always, Wooly will be in the team store during the game at some point. So first pitch is at 6:45 tonight. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
It's going to be a good time. Thank you, Kelsey. All right, looking ahead now, 4 astronauts are scheduled to launch a trip tomorrow around the moon as part of NASA's Artemis II mission. We have a live look here at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida behind me, where the crew will take off from. The crew will hold a press conference this afternoon before tomorrow's launch. The crew includes NC State graduate Christina Cook, Cook is the first woman to travel beyond low Earth orbit and fly to the moon. She's a mission specialist, so that means that she oversees big picture operations and knows how to get the team back on track if something goes wrong. On board, they'll study how space flight impacts the body, plus analyze the far side of the moon. Again, it is expected to launch tomorrow. If conditions are not perfect for launch, they'll have to delay it. About 22,000 people may have had their data compromised in a cybersecurity attack in Apex. The new information came out yesterday, 2 years after the incident. Luckily, with the help of the FBI, the town secured the stolen information. According to the new report, it doesn't appear any of the data landed on the dark web. Apex leaders are working to identify all of the people impacted. The man accused of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk is asking a judge now to delay his preliminary hearing. Prosecutors say Tyler Robinson faces a capital murder charge for the September killing at Utah Valley University. Defense attorneys say that they haven't received key evidence. The hearing is scheduled for mid-May. Robinson's attorneys have also filed a request to ban cameras from the courtroom during the upcoming trial. They say media coverage could be prejudicial to their case, and prosecutors and a media coalition have both filed oppositions to this motion. Your time now, 4:41, navigating tough conversations, how a program at UNC is giving parents the tools they need to have those tough talks with their kids about serious medical issues. Chris?
And for the rest of the week, you really can't feel the pulse of anything that's going to cool things off. However, as we head toward Easter Sunday, that may start to change. We're tracking the next cold front and where we stand with that for the holiday weekend, helping you plan ahead coming up in a few minutes.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
Coming up on 4:45, another day in which the tree pollen levels are very high thanks to pine, oak, maple, birch, and sweet gum. This is something that's going to last us really through the rest of the week. And the next 1 to 2 weeks are when we typically see the peak of tree pollen. And as we head toward May is when those levels start to come down. But we've lost touch with everything that would bring in widespread rain this week. It's just a few isolated showers out there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday afternoons. And the drought continues, right? It was very wet in August and September. After that is when everything became nothing. We just have not seen a big widespread rain in quite some time. 2/3 of the state in a severe drought, but there is a sign for some beneficial rain right around Easter Sunday. I'll show you the latest timing coming up in a few minutes.
Chris, thank you. A fundraiser for the family of a teenager killed in the shooting is happening this week. These are pictures of Clint Allen. He was shot to death last week. His family friend organized a fundraiser for the family to help with funeral expenses. A 15-year-old is charged with involuntary manslaughter. We have asked police for more information about the shooting and the charge, but they refuse to tell us any more. A raccoon caught near Pullen Park tested positive for rabies. The animal was found last week near Western Boulevard. Raleigh Animal Control says the raccoon showed signs of a neurological episode. They safely captured it and took it for testing. North Carolina is the #1 state in the country now for adding new residents. New census data shows no other state added more people from 2024 to 2025. Most of those new residents, more than 50,000 of them, moved to either Wake or Mecklenburg counties. Governor Josh Stein said the news proves that North Carolina is a great place to live. The governor also said as we grow, we have to take care to invest in our infrastructure and our people. North Carolina is the only state without a new budget to fund things like roads and infrastructure. State lawmakers are expected to return to Raleigh next month. A new UNC tool is helping parents share cancer news with their kids. Listen to this. When 38-year-old Zakia Nichols was diagnosed with breast cancer, her first concern wasn't treatment, it was how to tell her children. UNC helped develop the FACT toolkit to help navigate these tough conversations. It gives parents guidance and even the words to use.
I didn't know what to do, so it was just a tearful moment.
What it gives parents is this guidance and specific language to use that is customized.
Doctors say starting those conversations early can help kids cope. The town of Cary is making improvements to the gravel parking lot near the regional library parking deck downtown. Work includes new ADA parking pads and additional stone to improve conditions. The lot will stay open during construction with phased closings. The work will last about 2 weeks. They want to finish it before the Pimento Cheese Festival on April 11th. The state governor's highway safety program's Speed a Little, Lose a Lot campaign is now underway. Over the next week, law enforcement will be increasing patrols across the state. The goal is to remind drivers that speeding comes with serious and often deadly consequences. The campaign runs through Sunday, April 5th. Well, this week, part of Pullen Park will reopen. On Wednesday, amusement rides, attractions, playgrounds, and amenities will reopen while crews work on the Lake Howell Shoreline Improvement Project. Lake Howell will be closed during this time. All right, it is starting to be a really mild day, and the temperatures will continue to rise. Let's get right over to meteorologist Chris Michaels with a look at a bit of June in March. Chris?
Yeah, and hey, it's spring, and baseball season starts out today, at least for the Durham Bulls. A live look over the DBAP. Their home opener looks like it's going to be really nice. This southwest breeze keeping our temperatures mild. Will be at about 55 to 60 degrees up until 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. And by 11 o'clock, already in the low 70s and warmer than yesterday. All across the board, temperatures about 82 to 83 degrees. Just a few fair weather clouds out there. Otherwise, it's a mostly sunny sky and a warm one. Our first pitch temperatures for the Durham Bulls right at about 80 degrees. Perfect weather, play ball. And with that warmer weather, the ball tends to travel a little bit more. So maybe some home runs at the DBAP. Hopefully so. All right, as we head into tomorrow, things will continue to warm up. And yes, it'll feel like June out there, but at that point in the year, you're chasing the wind just to feel anything kind of cool out there. But at least we have the wind this time around to lower the humidity. We'll be in the mid 80s through Thursday and Friday, but notice our storm chances pretty slim picking, just about a 20 to 30% chance each day. Our cold front off toward the west, that's going to be the thing that really causes a rise in storm chances and a fall in temperatures heading into next week. Easter Sunday is when we expect that front to arrive. Ahead of it, warm, highs in the low to mid 80s. Storms may arrive later heading into the evening. So whether you're traveling or staying here at home and you're making your Easter Sunday plans, keep up with the latest updates on the free WRAL weather app. For today, temperatures low 80s. And then, yes, as Laura was saying, April's going to start out feeling more like June. Nighttime lows in the low 60s, afternoon highs in the mid 80s. That cold front does make things a little bit cooler heading into early next week with a high of about 70 by Monday afternoon. Laura?
Okay, Chris, thank you. Your time now, 4:50. Incredible rescue. A bald eagle is recovering after a dangerous situation in Wake County. How wildlife officers stepped in. Plus, the big shows. 2 series are making headlines right now. What fans are buzzing about in today's Hollywood Minute. Two high-profile upcoming series are in the news today. David Daniel has that and more in our Hollywood Minute.
The Tomb Raider series has hit a snag. Amazon MGM says star Sophie Turner has suffered a minor injury on set, prompting a pause in production. The studio has not given specifics on the injury or when filming might resume. It released this photo of Turner as Lara Croft when production began in January. The series is due out sometime in 2027. Laura Dern is attached to star in what would be the first scripted series about the Jeffrey Epstein case. Sony Television is putting together the project based on a book by Miami Herald journalist Julie K. Brown. Dern would play Brown, whose years-long investigation identified dozens of alleged victims and led to Epstein's arrest.
Can't believe we're staying at the Psycho Killer B&B.
You don't have to go anywhere to see Scream 7. The latest chapter in the iconic horror franchise arrives on digital platforms to buy or rent Tuesday, with more than 40 minutes of deleted scenes and other killer bonus content. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It seems like every viral recipe you see on social media these days includes cottage cheese. But why is this ingredient so popular all of a sudden? Well, Cleveland Clinic says cottage cheese is also extremely versatile. It can be eaten on its own or mixed in with other ingredients. Some cottage cheese may be made with whole milk, while others are low in fat. There's not one type that's necessarily better than the other.
So cottage cheese is actually a really healthy food. We know that it has a lot of healthy bacteria that help with our microbiome. We know it's a great source of protein. It's also something that many of my patients consider clean in the sense that it's not ultra processed.
Kirkpatrick also says while cottage cheese can be a great addition to your diet, those who are lactose intolerant or have certain sensitivities should be careful as it could cause adverse gut issues. State wildlife officers rescued a bald eagle that was trapped in fishing line in Wake County. Pictures show the rangers with the animal here. The State Wildlife Commission says it found the eagle in the Haw River near the B. Everett Jordan Dam. The eagle is recovering and on track to be released in the next week or two. We have more news just ahead now. New fallout. Another Durham school leader is out after a troubling incident involving a child with autism. What we're learning about this investigation. Plus, fire danger. A statewide burn ban is in place as crews battle brush fires across North Carolina. Why the risk is growing and how crews are preparing. And March savings. If you're looking for cleaner air or doing some spring cleaning, 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows you the best deals for this month.